Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be looking at a new format. It's NR. You may have remembered this from the fest that was happening around a year ago, but on Discord, a very vibrant and quite helpful community has been formed around this format. So I think it's important to kind of look at this as an alternative to common charity. It is a little bit lower powered, but it has access to different decks, and I thought it would be interesting enough to cover on the channel. So we are going to start with a deck that I have built myself, and then move on to more meta-relevant decks. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a tier list review where I understand what is like truly good in formats like this, and I can transfer that information to you guys. But for now, we're just gonna look at a deck that I built myself after playing this format for around a month, maybe closer to 2 months, and I am here with For Hire. Now, For Hire has just received a new card. Rex Freight For Hire is a very powerful playmaker in the deck that if we open or are able to get to our to the field somehow with a card like Fandora, or with a card like Rookie, it can kind of start like making plays, and it's fine. The other portions of this deck were playable, but it's important to kind of be able to play on like a different like level, and this is like a way where we can kind of get to like the interaction we need. Because before then, this deck was a Tri-Brigade variant, and it played just ending on Sagita, and then just a bunch of names. That's not good enough. We don't have any of the big For Hires. They may, even like Wiz and like Dinah are both supers and ultras. So we didn't have a payoff to this deck before, but now that we are able to end on something, maybe like a Dompa and a Recon plus Rookie to make and get our hands on some interruption, we can finally play this deck well. Let's start talking about the individual cards. First up, we have Philo Messenger For Hire. During your main phase, you can special summon For Hire from your hand, except Philo, and then when a For Hire is special summoned while you control this monster, you target a For Hire in your grave, summon it in defense mode. This is great for swarming. You just have to make sure to play around the fact that, card's got 0 attack defense. You're not ending on this card. You can end on most For Hire names just straight up, because they like plus you when you're like special summoning For Hires on your opponent's turn. You can like proc the Dompa and the Recon to or not. Is it Dompa? Maybe Recon and the one that pops monsters to like use interruption. You can't really do that with Philo because it's got too low of stats, and it's a little impractical. It's not impossible to do. Like, there are situations where you have to, like if you have a Recon or I do believe it's Dompa in the grave, you can activate Rookie, summon something, revive it, and then you can go on a spiral that ends in some interruption. But for now, we're just using Dompa. It is Dompa, and then we're gonna cover these two cards together because we have 3 Dompa and 3 Recon. These are Scout and Marksman. Marksman can target a face-up card on the field and pop it, and then Recon targets set cards. So the idea going first with this deck, this is a going second deck, but going first, you end on either Dompa or Recon, whichever one you have access to, and then you special summon a For Hire on your opponent's turn, which will allow you to pop a card on the field. Usually, you go for Dompa if you have like a Rookie plus Philo. You probably go for Dompa, or you go for like Rex Search Fortress. Fortress doesn't actually work that way, but you search Rex Search Mayhem, and then set Mayhem on your opponent's turn. You revive, and then you pop off like that. But the idea is that, okay, starting from the top, this also has the effect that all For Hire, the small For Hires do. During your main phase, summon a For Hire from hand, except Dompa. So essentially, and then if a For Hire is summoned to your field, or you control it, you can pop a card on the field. Very important for the deck. Add some disruption. Same thing with Recon, another small For Hire, so you can summon a monster from your hand, and then if one gets special summoned while you control this card, pop a set card. Then we're looking at the Melfi engine. We're playing 1 Caddy, 3 Puppy, and 1 Penny. Something to mention about this format is that it does have a community ban list. That's why we're not on 3 Caddy. The community ban list, I know it turns some people off. It is genuinely very important. It's hard to get into, but once you like understand all of the hits, 99% of them are very understandable and make sense. Melfi Caddy to 1 is important because when you do this, you can summon a beast monster. Essentially, what you can do is you can search the Penny, which is very important for extra disruption. We also have Melfi, the Synchro Melfi, so it's a bounce. Playing triple Puppy because you can summon a 2 or lower beast from deck, that includes any of the fur hires. So you can summon Dampa or Recon or lower also. So you can summon like Philo if you have to, but I believe, are the effects negated? They're not. Yeah, no. So you can just get one of the 2 disruption guys from deck. So this is essentially just, if you stretch the definition, this is emergency teleport, which is very important. It lets you summon on your opponent's turn, and it also lets you summon on your opponent's turn, and also summons the disruption guys. And then Penny is just extra disruption. You can search off Caddy. We are playing triple Rex. Rex is broken. When it's normal special, you can search a fur hire spell trap, and then you can banish this from grave and target a fur hire in grave. I've add it to hand or summon it if it's a monster. Essentially, what this does is it pretty much guarantees your entire setup. You can go normal Rex, search any of the spells you need. Rookie for disruption if you need that. You don't have like Puppy or any of the other cards that you can use to revive from grave. You don't have Mayhem. You can search that, or you can search the field spell if you have to. Adding the field spell from deck to hand lets you set up for next turn, search any for hire you need to on draw phase. And then the special summon from grave and you banish it is very convenient to set up your boards, right? If you're like linking off it and Philo, banish, summon Philo, trigger effects, essentially just lets you combo off a little bit harder. It's very important to the deck, and I'm glad we got it as a rare. Double Helmer. This is the only for hire, like small for hire. We're playing at 2. It's just slightly weaker than the other ones. Same special summon effects. And then when you actually do the special summon, you can pitch 1, draw 1. Pretty important to just play this many names in the deck because it works to the deck's advantage. If you open a hand with 5 names, that's like one of the best things you can open as long as Rex is included, so you have disruption. But if you want to open a hand that consists of like a going second card and 4 names, or like 3 names and a Puppy, or I guess Caddy also works there, right? It's very important to have access to those cards, and that's why we're playing Helmer. Triple Seal. Seal is another very important one to the deck. You can special summon 1 fur hire from hand, and if a fur hire is special summoned, you can add a fur hire monster, a monster for hire. Yes, I was confused by the weird wording they have on these cards. 1 monster for hire. Does he have his grippers out in this art? Hold on, let me look at this closer. That's so crazy. He's got they're spread. Whatever. You can target it for hire and grave, add it to hand. Essentially what this does is it allows you to swarm easier. Even if you can't activate their effects multiple times, it's good to summon something from hand, add something from grave, use the thing you just summoned to summon that, use that you just summoned to summon another thing. It just assists with just getting extra bodies on the board. And that's why we're on 3 Seal. Then I believe we were on triple Bravo. Bravo is a weird one. Some people would say play 3 Helmsman, 2 Bravo. I think that it's the same thing, summon for hire from hand, but also everything gains 500 attack defense until the end of the turn. I think that effect, that attack boosts in a format that is around this low power. It's not like insanely low. Like, we're not talking 2007. Like, this deck would beat the shit out of any Edison deck you put it against. But it's low-powered enough to where, like, you boost everything by 500, that's a full board. 2,500 extra damage is nothing to scoff at, right? I think the attack boosts are a lot more useful than they're giving credit for, and that's why I'm on 3 Bravo. It's also just a name, so, you want to play at least 2. And then 1 Sagitta. This card is just like extra stuff you can put on an end board. Essentially, you can't target any for hire monsters, any other for hire monsters. Wait, is that true? Your opponent can't target for hires with card effects except this one. Yeah, so it gives a little bit of protection to your board. I don't love it. I know people are on like 2 or 3. I think the targeting protection is fine, but it's also a little like, you're sitting on a board of like dudes with like 1,900 attack max, right? And you're like, so I don't think it's insanely hard to out the individual for hires. I think the plan is like to OTK. I don't think like, I much prefer spending more resources to get like pops with Recon and Dampa than setting up Sagitta. But the burn damage sometimes helps, and it is like, occasionally you draw a hand so good that it would be insane not to make it. It's like a free card you can just make like for no reason. So like, might as well play it at least at 1. Triple Guan Yun. Oh, sorry. Triple Guan Yun. Guan Yun is like the going second staple of this format. It's Pankratops, but bad, if that makes sense. Essentially, special summon this, if your opponent controls a monster, special summon this card from your hand. Can't target other ancient warriors with card effects. That's not important. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, pop a monster your opponent controls. So essentially, opponent controls a monster, you can summon this guy from your hand, and then if they control 2 monsters, you can pop one of them. Just very important, good for OTK tools, just good to pop. You can go over things with battle, you can pop things. It's essentially just, it's Pankratops, but if it was bad. I know I said that like a bunch of times, but that's just what it is. Double Fandora, the Flying Fortress. I am never going to say Fortress again. But during your draw phase, before you draw, you can give up your normal draw. That's the first time I've ever heard someone say a card to say give up. Give up your normal draw this turn, then search a monster for hire, and then if you control 5 for hires with different names, send this card from field to grave to pop all cards your opponent controls, and then they take no damage. The no damage restriction on this thing is insane, but otherwise, I think this card is completely fine. You can essentially just gain a little bit of free, like, okay, well, if you don't want the for hire from hand, fine, but also sometimes you just need like a Bravo to hit over something, or you need to like get rid of a card in your hand with Helmsman, or you need to like what does the other cards do? Oh, search something with Rex, obviously. So sometimes you just need to like be able to get through your cards, and I think like guarantee some things, and this is what Fandora does pretty well. Triple Book of Moon. Triple Book of Moon. It's a going second staple, but it's also back row, so that's insane. I guess I'll go a little bit more into depth of Book of Moon. Book of Moon is just really good. It's going second, you can flip something over. Going first, you just set it. It's disruption. It just works. Also, if you have Recon on the field with this, it's better than Dampa, which is very good. Triple Mayhem. Target a monster in grave, summon it for in defense. For hire in grave, summon it in defense mode. It's just, special summon a for hire on your opponent's turn. That's the core conceit of how you make disruption in this deck. Even though it's even if it is in grave. Also, you can go, funnily enough, summon Rex, search this, link it off, summon Rex with this. Or you can go like on your opponent's turn, you already have the disruption set up. You go Mayhem, summon Rex, search something, pop some things. It's just good. Triple Rookie, target tribute a monster, summon a for hire from hand or deck who is 1 level higher or lower than the tribute monster had on the field. Can't declare attacks the turn you activate this card except with monsters for hire. Essentially, this is just another way to summon things on your opponent's turn. It's a little bit worse, but occasionally you can flex like a Helmsman into a Rex, or like a Dampa into a Philo. It's just important to summon things on your opponent's turn. Onto the extra deck. Playing 1 Merry Melfi's, tuner plus a non-tuner if there's a special summoned, bounce a monster on the field. Essentially, that's the only thing that really matters with this card. you can just bounce a card on the field. You can just use Penny. It's a bounce a monster on the field. It's Disruption. What else do you want me to say? I believe you're on double Ronin Raccoon. You occasionally want to make this going seconds to hit over like a big beater, but you should usually, and like you only have like access to like Recon plus a Melfi. Like sometimes you would want to do something like this. A little hard to justify, but you know, not doing a lot with this extra deck. One Mannequin Cat. It's limited to one, but it's also another way to summon a for hire on your opponent's turn. Gravity Controller, this is for something like, you know, need to get rid of your Ronin Raccoon because need to get rid of the Ronin Raccoon because it's you need a way to out something also in the extra monster zone, but you need okay, this is getting hard to justify. I just put a lot of stuff in this extra deck. I didn't think it through. Double Firefighting Durmadol, Beast, Winged Beasts, or Beast Warriors, and it pops a spell trap. It's occasionally good if you don't have access to Recon. Pet Stag, occasionally good for OTKs, if you need to hit through some in defense position. I believe Double Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. This is good occasionally on an end board. You just end on this and it's usually fine. Double Genator, good for going second, can occasionally break important boards. One Triple Burst. Card's good if you like know they have a battle trap, you know. If they like search a battle trap, you can use this. And then double Rugal the Silver Sheller. This is the only important one. Occasionally you make this and then use it to summon a for hire on your opponent's turn. Other than that, it's only okay. But, you know, being able to, like, it sets up disruption sometimes, so it's probably worth talking about. That's it for hire in this format. If you want me to do more videos on this format, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.